Hey guys, it's Troy here. I know it's been a little while, but I wanted to share with you a pen that I've been wanting to do a video on for a while. And I picked this particular pen up from PeytonStreetPens.com. I'm a regular customer of theirs, as well as some other companies, but Peyton Street Pens, they've been pretty good to me so far. So I do search their site every so often looking for a good deal on a pen that I'm willing to spring for. And a while back, I picked up this particular pen, several months ago actually, and I thought that this would be a good one to add to my collection. As a matter of fact, it's one that I've seen several times and have been wanting to add eventually. You know, it's one of those, you get a brand that you like and that you know that you can probably do well with. Well, Sheaffer is like my number 2 brand. As far as I'm concerned, especially pens of the 1920s, 1930s. Sheaffers are my favorite, and there are a few modern ones even that I like. This will be considered pretty much a modern one, although it's kind of vintage in that it's older than I am. Quite honestly, this pen is from the 1962 to 1964 era. So I went ahead and picked up this little Sheaffer, and it came in one of Peyton Street Pens boxes like this. And as you can tell, it is a Sheaffer pen, and these are Sheaffer cartridges. This particular pen right here is the Sheaffer 500, also referred to as the Sheaffer Dolphin pen. And when I saw this one, I picked it up on Porpoise, and I was thinking, why not? Let's go for it. So it is a cartridge pen, as you can probably tell just by the fact that I've got the cartridges, and I mentioned them. But it is a nice black plastic pen here at the bottom, or at least on the barrel. And then you've got a nice brushed stainless steel cap on it. You look here, it does say Sheaffer's right there on that clip, and they've got a kind of a squared top to it. Now this design ought to be fairly familiar to anybody who has seen a lot of Sheaffers from that time period. Like right at the finial here, they've got it kind of squared off that way as well. And when you see the nib, you'll really go, yeah, that looks kind of familiar. So looking at it further, it does say, you know, Sheaffer's made in USA, both on where the cap band is, as well as the plastic here on that barrel. This particular pen did have some imprinting on it. The 20-Year Club, the World Publishing Company. So I'm assuming that if you were a member of this publishing club or this 20-year club, that you would end up getting one of these pens. I don't know, quite honestly. But it is a slip cap, and you open it up, and here you can see why they would call it a dolphin pen. Now, just recently we got a chance to go see some dolphins. Took my family on a family vacation. We were down in SeaWorld. No, not these kinds of dolphins that I'm talking about, but you can see why this particular pen might be called a dolphin pen. It is a cartridge converter style pen, but it's only cartridge. And you can see that I've been using an awful lot of this ink that's in this cartridge. I've got it most of the way empty. So I have been using this one quite a bit. Written a lot of letters, taken a lot of notes with this particular pen, and I'm going to put the cap on it. Now, to see the similarity in some of the style, if I pull out a PFM, you know, Pens for Men, from the 1950s and 60s, and you look there, you can see the styling where you've got the squared off end and you've got the squared off cap. And you know, the clip is fairly similar in its style, not exact, but you can definitely see similarities where you've got that inlaid nib on that PFM, and you've got the inlaid nib on the 500. Alright, so very similar, very typical of Sheaffer during that time period, with that lovely inlaid nib, and I kind of like them. Alright, so how does it do? How does it perform? Is it something that you might want to add to your collection? Because you can still find these out there. I mean, you can actually find them at a decent price. I actually found this one here, right here, for 60 bucks. I figured, why not? For $60, considering the price that I've actually seen some of these dolphins going for, alright, You know, and that included shipping to my door, so that made it worth the while. And it included, you know, a whole box of these Sheaffer cartridges. So I'll tell you what, let me give you some dimensions of this particular pen, you know, a few of the statistics, and then I'll go ahead and I'll show you how this baby writes. Baby, it's a fairly lightweight pen, as you saw the statistics for it, and with a slip cap and a posting that posts very securely, and quite honestly, it doesn't backweight that pen really much at all, and it's very comfortable to use it with it being in the posted position. So let's whip out my Clairefontaine writing tablet, and let's go ahead and put nib to paper on the Sheaffer 500, the Dolphin pen. This one is supposedly a medium nib, but it actually writes more like a fine to me. But as with any pen, regardless of the nib, if it doesn't write smoothly, if it's not good in the hand, if it doesn't write well, there's no point to it. And this is why I kind of wanted one. I knew that the Dolphin and pens very much like this. I've got some other Sheaffer pens with that inlaid nib that don't write quite as well as this one, but I'd heard good things about them and I'd seen them, so I wanted one just for this very reason. It actually is very smooth. That stainless steel inlaid nib actually does fairly well. Don't expect line variation. With an inlaid nib especially, you're going to get a fairly rigid nib, and that's fine. But you know what? You actually have a fairly wet writer there. So this is just using the Sheaffer black cartridge. But here's what I will say. This particular pen has been very reliable for me. I've been carrying this pen an awful lot in my pocket. I've been doing a lot of everyday carry with it. I have also been using it, like I said, to do a lot of letters, my checkbook, to do a lot of writing, and it sat on my desk for quite a while too. And I've been doing that a lot lately. Rather than necessarily having a pen of the day, I've been using a pen until I decide, yeah, let's try something different, or I get another one and decide I want to play with my new toy kind of thing. And I got a bunch of ink pens, and I do rotate them every so often. But I've been using this one an awful lot, so I'm pretty happy with it. The Sheaffer 500, the Dolphin style pen, or the Dolphin looking nib, you know, it's a great one to have in your collection if you can manage to find one. And I know that they're still out there, but it's worth investigating. So if you're not really into vintage pens, you're more into modern pens, well, this is, you know, an old modern pen. So this is one worthy of putting in your collection. And check out PeytonStreetPens.com. Every so often, you may be able to find a decent pen like this. I've seen the Dolphin from various vendors over the years, and this is one that I just decided to nibble at because, all right, I thought it was a decent price, shipped to my door, for I knew it was going to be a decent quality pen. So there you go. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Pick up one of my fountainpenfanatic.com t-shirts and support the channel. Pass the word. Thanks guys. Bye.